Some of the things we'll go over in this section is going to be speed and responsiveness, one visit close, and then closing like a pro. Speed and responsiveness, why speed matters. According to Forbes, 78% of customers buy from the first company that responds to their inquiry. That's a huge number. That's a massive percentage. A delayed reply equals loss of trust and missed opportunities. Fast responses build confidence and show professionalism. A couple of golden rules of responsiveness. Respond within 5 to 15 minutes of any inquiry when possible, of course. Even just a quick, hey, thanks for your interest, someone's gonna reach out to you shortly. That can buy you time and trust with the prospect. A couple of tools that can be handy for you in your management of inquiries, use CRMs and alerts for immediate lead notification. I've worked for a company before where the minute they hit enter on the computer, it was ringing somebody's phone. So quickness and responsiveness. Something like, you can even give them messages like, hey, I'm with a customer, I'll contact you as soon as I'm done, right? Little quick messages. Use text and email scripts, and then of course enable mobile notifications because you do not want to miss any of those calls. There's nothing worse than missing a call or an inquiry, not noticing it for hours or even not till the next day, right? So however you do it, the key is to do it quickly. Because if you are not talking to them, chances are somebody else is. So why are closing skills so important? We're going to go over a few closing things now. You can build great rapport and present a perfect product, but without effective closing, all of that effort can just go to waste. Closing ensures that you capitalize on the customer's interest while it is at its highest. Hesitation often leads to lost sales. You want to capitalize on that after you've shown them everything, they're excited. That's the time to collect the money and get them on the schedule. A strong, smooth close reassures the customer that they're making the right decision. Of course, more closed deals are going to equal more money and more growth and opportunities. And then, of course, skilled closers don't drag out the decision. They are going to guide the customer to a natural yes faster. Multiple visits waste time, energy, and momentum. Studies have found that only about 10 to 20% of prospects who say, I'll think about it or I'll call you back, actually ever reach out. It's on getting that taken care of when you're at the home. Confidence and urgency, you're going to win the deal. Urgency and emotional connection during that first appointment are critical to closing that sale. Why is it important to get to the sale quickly? After the appointment, the emotional excitement fades, as we talked about. Competitors can often get to them. I don't know about you guys, anybody else get distracted in life, right? Kids and schools and everything else gets involved, right? Life priorities can distract people. And then, of course, doubt and analysis paralysis grow over time. Look, it took me 6 months to buy a cat for our family because I researched what cat, hypoallergenic, what personality. I mean, literally, it took us 6 months. Same thing happens, right? There's a lot of competition out there. People are going to start researching other companies. They're going to find out who's the best, what company offers what. So a quick close can help them overcome that long drawn out process. And then of course, being prepared before you arrive. Take a look at the home on Google Earth real quick. See if there's anything you need to talk about there. Are there any slopes on the house? Are there any big tall peaks? Just be prepared. Kind of have an idea of the home that you're walking into, right? Set an expectation for price. I think a couple of us have talked about this recently, right? Let them know. Do you guys set a price expectation before you go out? You let them know, right? There's nothing worse than pulling up to a house and going through all that work and giving them a $5,000 bid, and then they go, oh, I thought it was going to be $500, right? You've wasted their time, you wasted your time. It's really hard to close those deals. And then, oops. And then, of course, bring everything you need, right? Have all your pictures, have all your contracts, your financing options, all your FAQs, have that ready to go. And then, let them know when you're talking to them on the phone, you're setting up that appointment, kind of give them the expectations. Let them know the steps for when you come out. You're going to go over product and questions. You're going to measure the home. You're going to give them a bid, and then you're going to get them on the schedule, right? You're going out there for a purpose. Let them know that. And it kind of just sets that tone and that expectation. And then, of course, be professional, set an agenda, pre-frame the close. You're gonna after your initial pitch, let them know, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and measure now. I'm gonna put together a proposal, and then before I leave, I'm going to knock on the door and I'm gonna present you that proposal. Everybody here should be presenting on the door, in the living room, in the driveway, wherever it is. You should be presenting them and prepared to close them there. Really, measuring, doing all that stuff, and then emailing them later, you miss out on so much opportunity. And then start to subtly assume that they're going to move forward when you're doing that. Couple of ways you can do that. Use some soft closing questions. Do you have a date you would like to have us install you by? Ask how they'd like to pay for the deposit. Ask them for their money. You are not there just to visit, right? You are there you're not just there to show off amazing lights. You are there to sell. You are there to retain them as a customer. You can go over things, would you like to get installed this week or next? All we need now is a deposit to get you on the schedule. Hey, if everything looks good to you, I'll go ahead and get things lined up, right? Just some soft closing things that you're naturally progressing and moving the conversation forward. And then pause. And I mean pause. Let it get awkward. Let it get awkward. Let it get quiet. Let them process everything you just gave to them. Sometimes it can feel awkward, but don't say anything. Literally wait for them. I know it feels awkward. It feels weird. You're going to want to talk. You're going to want to say something. Let them say the first words, okay? And then, of course, if they're hesitating, reframe, use that urgency. Hey, we had a spot open up. I can get you on that day or a specific day. Maybe we've got promotions ending or, hey, it's July. Prices are going up in 2 months. This is the best time to get on because you're not going to get it any cheaper this year, right? Use some things like that. Offer a bonus, If you go ahead and get on the calendar today, I'm going to take down your old lights for you, or take $100 off the system, something like that. Offer them an incentive to move forward. And then, you can always ask them, hey, plain and simply, what is holding you back? Whatever objection they give you, address it and handle it there. If something comes up like I need to talk to a spouse, see if you can get the spouse on the phone. Say, hey, no problem. Let's see if we can get them on the phone. Just something like that. Sometimes it's easy, yeah. Sometimes, hey, they're at work. We can't get them on. That's okay. I don't make any personal big decisions without speaking to my wife, right? I don't like the couch, so I understand if that's a legit concern, right? And and that's fine. And then, of course, if all else fails, big one. Big one that a lot of people do not do. And again, 3 exclamation marks for dramatic effect. Follow up, folks. If they're not prepared to make that decision, find out, hey, is it okay if I call you this evening? Can I call you tomorrow morning? Whatever it may be, follow up. I cannot tell you how many deals I personally closed because I was the only rep or the only company that followed up with them. I'd have constantly, you're the only person that called me back or followed up with me. Guess we're going with you, right? And so I can't emphasize enough. Follow up. That is, and it doesn't matter if you're selling lights or anything else in the world. That's a big one. Let's just talk about a couple things that we want to avoid, right? A couple pitfalls that we want to avoid, right? Talking too much, listening too little, failing to build emotional value, not knowing the answer to a question, not asking for the sale, not following up, and of course, being underprepared for appointments. These are some things you definitely want to avoid in any of your sales presentations or any conversations you're having with folks. And then, of course, if you do win, all is good. They've signed, they've given you your credit card, they're on the calendar. Congratulate them. Reinforce their decision. You're going to love the lights. Get them excited. Okay, next step, we're going to be out here on Friday. We're going to get you all installed. Want you to send me pictures. Let me know how everything goes. Get them excited. They just made a really fun, emotional decision, and we want to celebrate that with them, right? So in closing, respond quickly, effectively, and close strong, and let's go make some money. Thank you.